Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're literally dismantling what is probably the single biggest misconception out there about manifestation. We're going to look at the really profound and honestly kind of backwards reason why your intense desires, that desperate, I want this so badly feeling, is actually pushing your goals further away. So let's just dive right in. Let's kick things off with the question that is probably on everyone's mind. Why do desperate desires fail? Like, why do millions of prayers, daily affirmations, and these burning wishes just seem to go completely unanswered, day after day? Well, the universe isn't actually ignoring you. You're just broadcasting on the completely wrong frequency. And this is where Neville Goddard comes in. He's this fascinating figure, basically the mystical architect of inner transformation. His philosophy gives us this mathematically precise, albeit really paradoxical, answer to why our efforts so often boomerang right back in our faces. He doesn't teach that the universe is just capricious or random. Instead, he talks about an unbending law of the human mind. Which brings us to Section 1, the trap of desiring from lack. Okay, so here's the really subtle trap, where most of us completely sabotage ourselves. On one hand, you have a phrase like, I will have joy. Now, when you say I will, you're actively declaring that your vessels are currently empty, right? You're literally broadcasting lack, which, you guessed it, just produces more lack. But on the flip side, saying I am joy claims absolute fulfillment right here, right now. It's a game changer because life doesn't actually respond to what you want. It reflects what you are. This concept is brilliantly captured in this quote from our source material. To be conscious of being poor while praying for riches is to be rewarded with that which you are conscious of being, namely, poverty. Think about that for a second. If you pray for success, but your predominant internal feeling is sheer desperation, well, you're rewarded with exactly what you are conscious of, more desperation. Moving on to Section 2, consciousness is the only reality. So what does this actually mean? Basically, your world is simply your consciousness made concrete. The universe isn't some external boss handing out favors to the good guys and punishments to the bad guys. It's entirely impersonal. Think of it like this. You are the internal mold, and the world around you is just the clay that's being forced to take that exact shape. I love this metaphor from the source material. Trying to change the outside world without changing your internal impression, it's exactly like breaking a mirror to try and change your face. I mean, it's totally futile, right? The mirror only reflects. So we've got to stop wrestling with the external world. When you change the internal impression, the reflection just corrects itself instantly. All right, Section 3, thinking from the end. So you're probably wondering, how do we actually bridge this gap? Well, the difference really comes down to a single word. Thinking of the end means you're looking at your desire like it's some distant object. You're just a spectator separated from it. But thinking from the end, that's where the magic happens. You collapse that distance entirely. You mentally step right inside that desired state, and you start viewing the world from that completed perspective. As Goddard puts it, not as a spectator thinking of the end, but as a participant thinking from the end. You absolutely have to stop being just the audience in your own life. You need to step directly onto the stage in your imagination and make it real. Now for Section 4, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This right here is the ultimate solution to our paradox. When the desire is reached in feeling, it shrinks and disappears. It sounds crazy, but the exact moment you successfully assume the feeling that you already have what you want, you actually lose that ravenous hunger for it. I mean, you can't be desperate for something you know you already own, right? So here are 3 deceptively simple steps from Goddard to bypass your physical senses. Step 1, immobilize your physical body and just get deeply, deeply relaxed. Step 2, feel the action in your imagination as if it is happening right here and right now. And step 3, induce a kind of sleepy, drowsy state and repeat a short phrase, something like thank you, over and over. It acts almost like a lullaby to this inner power that is already giving you what you asked for. And finally, Section 5, inner transformation. The absolute key takeaway here is that no real help comes from the outside. You literally have to shut the door on your physical senses when they're screaming that you're in a state of lack. You've got to ignore that external evidence. They're basically just illusory giants trying to scare you. Boldly assume this brand new conception of yourself, and then just allow the world to remodel itself to reflect your new state. It's doing the heavy lifting for you. So, after everything we've unpacked in this explainer, I want to leave you with the question to really ponder. What are you conscious of being right now? Not what you hope to be. Actually, definitely not what you're begging to be. What do you feel that you are at this exact precise moment? Because your answer to that question is literally building your future. Think about that for a while. Thanks for hanging out with us, and until next time, stay curious.